This will be the final installment of our southern Utah, northern Arizona trip from a couple months ago. Links to the previous two will be in the description below. As we were leaving Moab, Utah, headed home, Chad and I discussed the trip. I'm going to let that discussion be a backdrop for this installment. I hope you enjoy it. Now roll that intro. You've seen videos of Chad and I leaving Moab before, but this one's a little different because we were only in Moab for one night. We're wrapping up an epic 6-day photo tour, and we're going to talk about those a little bit. And occasionally you'll see up here in the corner, you'll see a little link to some of the other vlogs where I talk about the different sections. But we left our houses 6 days ago. I picked Chad up at his house in the morning and we headed out, and we headed to Moab, Utah, which is way down, like I think about what, 15? How many miles from the Arizona border is Moab, Chad?
I don't know, but not very far.
Yeah, 13, 15 miles, something like that, not very far. All right, so from Moab, we headed over to Page, and on the way we stopped at a place called Moab, I believe is how you say it. The last time I was in Page, Arizona, I was 14 years old, and they were just barely starting to build the dam, and Page was nothing but I think there was a gas station, a small gas station that probably was run out of a portable building, and there were several mobile homes which belonged to the people that were working building the dam, and that was it. And now Page has a super Walmart, so that tells you a little bit of the difference between in what's it been, around 55 years, 56 years, something like that. Anyway, so and then from Page we went to a place called Mexican Hat, which is back up in Utah. And to get to Mexican Hat, you have to drive through
Monument Valley.
Monument Valley. And we did get some shots of Monument Valley, but what was the problem?
Closed.
Monument Valley was closed? Unbelievable, but it was. It belongs to the Navajo Nation, and the Navajos have been hit hard by the coronavirus due to their social multi-generational families living together in their homes and stuff. And so if one person gets infected, why, it just spreads like wildfire through that family and usually through some other close families too. And so they've had a bad time, so they closed. So the 17-mile loop that is where you really get your best epic photos in Monument Valley was absolutely shut down. No way to get into it.
And winds were blowing, and it was hazy and not a good photo experience.
Yeah.
But I did get one of my best shots on the way there.
Yeah, we got there was a rock formation with a old-time corral down at the underneath it on the flat ground, and the clouds. What made those shots that we took on there were the clouds, and a beautiful scene and the clouds. So that wasn't bad. And then we went back there the next day after staying at the San Juan Trading Post in Mexican Hat, which was an experience. But anyway, and got Forrest Gump, the place where Forrest Gump stopped his nationwide run. Tom Hanks, obviously.
They keep that memorabilia or whatever you say, the sign.
Yeah.
They keep that up real well. You can't miss that.
Anyway, but Monument Valley is a beautiful place, and we will definitely be back to there when we can go up in that 17-mile. I think it's called the 17-mile loop. If not, well, I apologize. Then from there we did the Moki Dugway, which was a whole bunch of switchbacks up to the top of a mesa, and that was kind of a fun little thing. And then we had the overlook of the Valley of the Gods. What did you think of the Valley of the Gods?
Really, I think even if Monument Valley would have been open, I probably would have had a more memorable experience than Valley of the Gods. Really a nice place. But it's hard to make a choice because we really didn't get to see Monument Valley.
Yeah. But Valley of the Gods was very interesting. Some beautiful formations. Again, we didn't get the clouds we would have liked to have got. I did get a few, but would have been nice to have some clouds up in the sky. But I think we've got some acceptable images there. And so we spent quite a bit of time in there. And then along with that, the Goosenecks State Park, which is very, very close to the Valley of the Gods. And you'll see some photos of the Gooseneck State Park there, which is kind of like a double horseshoe bend in a way. But anyway, that was kind of pretty.
You commented that it was one of the larger state parks that you've been to.
Yeah, I think it took up a good acre. It was probably 5 acres. Would be literally all it was. It's so small. But anyway, it did have a beautiful view of the goosenecks there. That's about all we saw in the Mexican Hat. And then we decided to move from the Mexican or the San Juan Trading Post motel up to Bluff, where we stayed in the smallest motel room. I think it's the smallest I've ever stayed in. We went from Bluff to Moab, but on the way we found this funny little interesting place. I told my wife, I said, we got some photos of a house on fire. She said, oh, that's terrible. But this is, when she sees the picture, she'll chuckle, because this is the famous Indian Ruins House on Fire, which is just outside of Blanding, Utah. And that was kind of fun, didn't you think?
That was a good experience, because it kind of had, I don't know, to me it kind of had a feeling with it.
Because of the antiquities or the...
Yeah, just that you're kind of in this spot that had been used by ancient people so many years ago, and it was in such pristine shape. It kind of had a little feeling with it, I felt.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was about a mile walk into it also, but it was so nice because people have respected it. There's no painting. There's nobody written their initials in it. People have been intelligent and respected that property or that space, which really, it just gives you a respect for the ancients and for all of the visitors that have gone there and seen that, and nobody has
there's no
damaged
trash.
it.
You have just little trails, and it's just the same type of trails you would have expected to be back hundreds of years ago. So it seemed like you were kind of going back in time.
It was wonderful, wonderful experience there.
And we had the place to ourselves for the last hour that we shot there.
Yeah,
and that was nice.
Yeah. Then we came up to Moab, and we had spotted on Google Earth or somewhere sometime back, clear back last fall, I think is when we first spotted it. A place called, and I think you brought my attention to it if I remember right, a place called Marlboro Point, and it's a Jeep ride to get out to that point where you get the best photos of it. It's on the way up to, it's very close to the Canyonlands Island in the sky, and it's also very close to the Utah State Park Dead Horse Point. but it's not in either one of them. Therefore, I was able to do some droning around it. But getting into it was a lot more of an adventure than we thought it was going to be. But we did get in there fine. I had to get Chad out a couple times and I got out a couple times to look and see, okay, which way is the best way around these rocks and stuff. But we got in, we got out, and we got, I think, some nice photos. Again, no clouds, blue sky, and I sure would love to have had some clouds. I'd love to have the clouds that are here today that we're looking at out there in those pictures. But we'll see how they turn out when we get home. I'm very excited to get home and get a look at all of the photos that we've taken and go through them and cull out the bad ones and get the good ones processed and ready. Any thoughts?
Well, enjoyed the trip. We're already planning our next one.
That's right. Back down in that area, and some other things that we didn't see, and relook at some of the things we did see. So, great trip. 6 days over. We're going to be home in about 4 hours, 5 hours. Let's see, 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. About 4 hours according to my GPS. So anyway, it's been fun. Take a look at the other vlogs that I've posted as we go along here. If you like my style, or our style, my style particularly, since I'm sometimes alone on them, why, be sure and subscribe. If you like this video, give me a like. If you didn't like it, hit the don't like twice. And come and see what we're up to next. And until then, you got the oldest vlogger, the world's oldest vlogger, Scott Law, and his good buddy, Chad Barton. And until the next video,
keep going, keep going.
keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping